night, and Mr. Keown and myself were there. The Football Writers Association paid tribute to the Dutch master, Dennis Bergkamp. 30 years on from his arrival here with English football and, of course, with Arsenal. He won 3 Premier League titles with Arsenal, 3 FA Cups during an 11-year period in North London. He became known for his elegance on the pitch, his vision, and some very special goals along the way. In a moment, you're going to hear tributes from Arsene Wenger and Thierry Henry, but we start with the man himself, Dennis Bergkamp.
Still life in the game according to the referee, and Bergkamp certainly life in him. A truly high-class hat-trick from Dennis Bergkamp. The first touch was magnificent, more to come, and again unerring in front of goal.
It is great to see you. This has been a special night. How are you feeling? Because you're reluctant about publicity and about this kind of being in the glare of it.
To be honest, it is sort of grew on me on the last few weeks. These sort of events are always, it's not really my cup of tea, but when you're here, it's really special. I understood that started to understand that it's a real big thing, and yeah, I'm just happy to be part of it, to be part of that list of all those winners, and it is still a great evening.
And you brought a lot of people a lot of enjoyment, Dennis, by being the special player that you were. Maybe there aren't enough players who are free to express what they can do in the field of play. Yeah. And that's exactly what you did. Do you want to see more of that?
Definitely. I think Arsene said it in his speech as well, and that's rightfully so. I mean, football is freedom. You have to enjoy it, and without too much tasks and rules and stuff, and let the players play. And I got a lot out of that, you know, with a free mind playing football. So I just hope that won't stop, you know, because there are enough creative players everywhere, and you just want to be entertained. You want to see them play, you know. So.
And does Arsenal still mean a lot to you?
Always, yeah. From day one, it started to mean something to me, and yeah, when you look at all the faces of the players and the staff where I worked with, it's tremendous. It's like a family.
Wilton makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. The move, and then this, which left Davies Ass totally stranded.
I've been talking about Dennis for a very long time, and I will always talk about Dennis. What he did, how he showed us how to behave, how to train, how to be also as a husband, family guy. It's just second to none. You know, we all talk about how he changed the game, how he changed Arsenal. We're talking about Dennis Bergkamp. I mean, if you think about the goals, how he did it, how he behaved, how he played the game, the dedication about it, that's just crazy, thinking about it.
And I think you wanted to be here specifically for Dennis, such as your admiration and respect for him.
Yeah, for Dennis, for his family, and Rita also has been outstanding on that journey. The kids understanding what was happening. It's never easy, trust me. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about Dennis. Like I said, I can never be objective when I talk about Dennis because I'm going to lie, I'm going to defend him no matter what. So for me, it was just a special player that played the game the right way.
Bergkamp dragging the ball back. Still Bergkamp. Well, it's an exquisite goal from a player who is really in peak form at the moment.
It has been a great night, and the way people turned up today, the quality of people who were here tonight shows how much he respected and loved Dennis, and the mark he left in everybody's heart who loves football is so big that that's why it was such a turnover tonight.
What made him such a special player?
I would say the combination of elegance, class, creativity, technique, and efficiency. You know, you do not find always many times all these qualities inside the same body and inside the same brain, and that's what was happening with Dennis.
It seems to me, Arsene, that if ever there was a role model in football, it was Dennis.
Yes, of course. I would say certainly some players who play today watched him play, and we have seen some highlights of his game. You know, he had a burning passion for the quality, for the perfection, and for football. And I must say, having witnessed him every training session for 10 years, I never saw him neglect any pass, any control, any shot. You know, he was always fully focused to do as well as he could. And what happened in the game, that's the only message we can give to today's players, was not a coincidence, was a consequence of hard work in training.
Your time is very limited at the moment, but you wanted to be here tonight, didn't you? You wanted to make that effort.
I came specially back, yes, from a very long trip, because I didn't want to miss that, and I feel even, that's what I said, you know, he's 55 today, Dennis, so it was about time to pay tribute to him, and I didn't want to miss that, just to show the respect I have for what he did for the game and for Arsenal.
It was quite a night. The great and the good from football were there, and you heard from Arsene Wenger, you heard from Thierry Henry, and you heard from the man himself. He doesn't often do interviews, but Dennis Bergkamp gave me a few words at the end of the night. I mean, Martin, you were sitting at the same table as me. I mean, it was quite a night. The fella is an absolute star, Bergkamp, isn't he?
Do you know that he almost had to be dragged back into the limelight, because he doesn't really enjoy, and I think he never really wanted to. We never want to finish, do we, as players? And it kind of reminds him of what he now can't do, I suppose. He was the master of the ball in everything he did on the pitch, perfectionist. He was tough, his technique, great company to be with from day to day. He never changed. He was exactly the same person that left the club that came in on the first day. It was a pleasure, fun to be around, great sense of humour. I sat opposite him on the bus for 8 years. This is so professional in how he led his life. He was a great role model. His technique, though, Jim, I mean, honestly, he knew everything a ball could do, the spin, what it was capable of, such balance, like a ballerina, you know, left foot, right foot. He wasn't favouring anything. We score the goals he used to score in training. Honestly, we people would just stop. You know, a trill of applause for a piece of brilliance, a trick or a goal. Honestly, I know they
forget Ian Wright as well. He spoke brilliantly last night as well about him.
Well, they all have to take a bow when this fella's around, because they all, you know, benefited from him. Ian was an amazing finisher as well, of course. I mean, and Henry, what a player! Henry's probably the only player that gets ahead of him in terms of his quality and ability, because Henry was just a flying machine, just unstoppable.
And he was named, I didn't know it, Simon, he was named after Dennis Law, who sadly we lost just the other day, but and he spoke about that. He's an unusual mixture of things, Dennis Bergkamp.
He was tough,
he doesn't like people telling him just how brilliant he was, but he damn well was. He was fabulous.
Yeah, he was a top player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
they all ran after his shirt in every game. The opposition. In the tunnel before the game, they were asking for his shirt.
A lot of people look back on Bruce Rioch's time at Arsenal as a very difficult time, but Bruce Rioch signed him. And it's that interesting vision, you know, an interesting change of direction, because at that time, Italian football was the lure. You know, and he came from Italian football to English football at a time where Arsenal weren't the flamboyant side and the brilliant side.
But taking nothing away from him, I think Danny Fisman and David Dean, that was kind of a marquee signings for him and David Platt.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going in a different direction. And Dennis definitely took the club in a different direction. And then, of course, Arsene Wenger really kind of brought all of that talent out. It was a remarkable set of players. When you look back in that dressing room, Jim, we're talking now about, you know, can Arsenal be title winners? The Vieiras, the Perez's, and now Overmars. Petit, you've had him in the studio, Sol Campbell, Ashley Cole. Some wonderful talents.
Yeah, and so strangely had this fear of flying. Well, many people do, but you had this fear of flying. Does that in any way lead to a question like, would Arsenal have won more Had he not had that fear of flying, if Dennis had been around in certain games.
He was involved in a very difficult flight, I think, playing in the World Cup in America, and there was nearly a major disaster, and I think he thought it was very difficult to get back in an aircraft after that. We understood and respected that. We maybe were without him on occasions. It was tricky to have to keep, but we had other able replacements in Canoe, didn't we, and Wiltord, who came in. So no, but it's not ideal, but we understood the problem that he had.
Sure. Mr. Keown, you're an Arsenal invincible yourself, and it was great to be in your company last night. It was a very enjoyable night. It was terrific.
Thank you. Just Simon, we need to get Simon at some of these events, don't we?
Why?
Yes.
Well, just to
when we honour you,
if he's a true football fan, I think he would have.
I can be a
We'll
true
all have to
football
go
fan
to
without
your
being a
honorary
sycophant,
evening, won't
can't I? I doubt you'll be there, mate.
You're not
You'll
wrong.
be arguing a corner with yourself.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.